Yeah. Uh-huh. Salute. Hey, look, check this out. You got me, Drip. We're back at it again with another conversation with Drip. So this time I want to talk about the Memphis boys, man. The Memphis Made, I don't want to call them boys, Memphis Made men. So I'm going to tell you about who they is, the stuff they doing right with their non-profit organization, and the stuff that's going to go on. So we're going to go on here and get to it. Tap in, lock in, tune in. So the first thing I want to talk about is the things they do right. So one of the things they do right is with their nonprofit organization is they don't ask no parents for no money. I'm not saying, there's not no diss towards other nonprofit organizations who do ask their parents for money because sometimes, it could be smart. It's called OPM, use other people's money, right? But in this situation, right, their strategy is they don't use people, they're not going to ask their parents for money. So what they do is they fund their stuff out their pocket. So it's a smart strategy in a situation. The reason why it's a smart strategy is because sometimes when you're a non-profit organization, you're trying to do charity work for the kids. It's two ways you have to deal with the parents, right? Sometimes the parents they gonna be like, dang, like you a non-profit, you really say you for the kids. Why you trying to suck me dropping my money? If y'all want me to, give y'all, I could take that same money, keep it for myself, and give it to my kids. So why do I need a middleman for? That's the first angle how you look at it, right? And then that other side to it is the reason why you got to deal with the parent because sometimes they may be like, dang, like, you got some of the parents that be like, dang, I don't even have it. But I want my kid to join the program because, for various reasons, they need something to do for productivity. They try and keep their kid out of trouble or, they want to expose their kid to a different way of life. And the parents know, like, hey, I can't really help my kid like that. So, in that aspect, so what I can do is find somebody else who I can utilize to be able to help my kid because sometimes when it comes to having a kid, in certain situations, they may not always listen to the parents. Sometimes they may listen to outside. That's what that whole saying, it takes a village to raise a kid. Now, I don't always agree with that situation because when people say that they use that as a crutch to not raise their own kid and stuff like that. But that's one of the reasons why I say they smart is because they eliminate both of them problems when they fund it out their pocket. So a lot of parents feel that, hey, this is a free program, so hey, they're gonna be much more likely to dump their kid off because they ain't got to pay for it. And it's a win-win. It's more so a win situation for them because they not spending any money and they get to dump their kid off for a few hours and they ain't got to worry about them. And usually for their program, it be lasting 6 to 8 hours when they have events and stuff like that. So they can dump their kid off in 6 to 8 hours. That's a whole day. Plus, not pay for the program. Like, yo, that's a steal right there. So they smart in that aspect, funding it out their own pocket. So another thing is that they do right is when it comes to their actual events, when they host events, like I think it's like once a month or a couple of times a month when they host some events, it's educational mixed with having fun at the same time. So it ain't just always, laugh and giggles. So when they bring them to the event, they do a lot of different things with them. They make sure they get laugh and giggles, or they have a smile on their face, right? So they getting fed that way. Then their stomach is getting fed, so they making sure they eat good because some kids, that may be the meal that they could get the entire day, right? Or they have to wait late at night till they mama and daddy, come home and decide to cook. So they get fed that way, and then they get fed up here in the brain with information, not knowledge, and then their spiritual side get fed because it's a safe place where they feel they can come talk to people and be amongst people where they not gonna feel judged or if they tell them something that they not gonna go back and tell some of the people that they don't want it to find out and stuff like that. So when it comes to their events, they well structured and well put together, like, and then they teach various different lanes because the main purpose of their events are exposure. So sometimes they'll take them to the studio. They'll take them to go meet a producer. They'll take them to go meet a coder. They'll take them to go meet an athlete. They'll take them to some of the better restaurants. They'll take them to go see uh, movie theater. They'll take them to the best parts of town rather than, taking them to the hood and stuff like that. They'll take them to the best part of town and show them what, a peaceful life is like. They'll show them how to dress, put on Sunday best outfits and stuff like that. And then they'll teach them how to give back to the community. So that's another reason why they win. They smart because when they put their events, like very strategic, they're not just throwing something together just to say, hey, we're doing something for the kids. Everything they do is very strategic and well put together and well thought out. So that's the second thing they do right. And then the third thing they do right is when it comes to their portfolio, right? So like it's like four of them guys. So one thing I can honestly say, based on my visual experience of them, right? Everybody got their own motion. So you don't have one person saying, or one person doing everything, closing the deals, trying to get sponsorships, funding all the events, talking to all the parents. You don't have one person doing everything. What you got over there, you got 30 teams. They may not have an admin or nothing like that, as far as one of them big nonprofit organizations where they have an admin, CFO, COO, and all that there. They don't have none of it. But what they do have is they have each other. When they have each other, it's like a sturdy foundation of folk. The four horsemen. So they like the ones where you put on the dollar bills. So press on the dollar bill, that's they sturdy. Uh, so that's one thing I can say. And they got this saying, right? It's really called the four M's, but I forgot the fourth one. But the three of them that I know is money, mouth, and muzzle, right? So basically what I'm saying is they got great teamwork. You don't have one person trying to carry the load, and nor do anybody on the team want to carry all the load, right? Just like a basketball team, they understand their position. One the point guard, the other the shooting guard, the other the small forward, the other power forward, and then the other center. And they not all asking for 20 shots a game. Some say, okay, I'll be cool with 10. Some be cool with 5. Some be cool with 3. Some be cool with 1. They're not all trying to hog the spotlight. And you can even see it. You can even see it when you go on the news. You see them on some of the news channels that they've been on. It ain't never been one just there by themselves. Never. For even the events that they've been hosting and people came to interview them, it ain't never been just one person there. You may have one of the guys who've been there on a consistent basis, right? Because it may be a couple on this. Like, you know what? I love the nonprofit, but I don't want to be in the limelight and stuff like that. I'd rather be in the background, which is cool. But you never just see one just solely up there just flying solo. That's a totally different. So that's another thing that they do see is why they so successful, and they're gonna continue to be more successful because they market it and they relationship build. If you see Memphis Made, they in every single market. You got them speaking in schools, they writing books, they doing movies, they in the what's it called? They going to the board meetings, school board meetings, the Congress meetings and stuff like that. They on the news channels, several different news channels. Then they're on the internet because each one they got their own platform. Right now, only do they have their own motion, far as because I know some of them some of them they do salesmen, they're salesmen. Some of them got a pressure wash business and stuff like that. But they not only have their own motion with that, but they always in the people's face as far as they non-profit. That's what make a difference. And if they show they got a team, so it makes it a lot easier when it comes time to ask for donations. Because what people want to see is a proof of concept before they write their check to you. They see you got a sturdy team and you've been marketing it yourself. And plus you build a relationship with them anyway because you probably sit down and you have meetings and dinners and stuff with them and you taking care of the community. So they smart because not only the community back them, right, as far as the parents and stuff like that, then they can take that to the sponsorships who cut the check and be like, hey, we got these folks backing us right here. And we already got our motion anyway because we've been funding our own events. We want you, but we don't really need you. We already got the connection. We can get on the news channel. We already got the connection. We can host our own event. We've been sitting next to the mayor. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they looking at the person cutting the check like, we want you, but really, what can you do for us? We just need the money. Because the more money you have, the more options you can do when you have these non-profit organizations. So they can do a little bit more stuff like far as they may take state to state trips with the kids, or they may take them to the gun range with parental consent, or martial art class or something like that. They may take them to more or education like CPR classes, right? They may give them bigger experiences where they can spend more time with them, and that costs a little bit more money, right? But for them to have an event once a month and still have them tied up for 8 hours a day, the kids eat it up. And they did all that on their own footwork. And then they're authors too. They got their own book out. And why is the book important? Because it tells their story. And when you're an author, it shows your credibility. And then that's a product. And they in both lanes, product and service. They got the book, then they got their merch, then the service side. They service in the community by taking care of their kids. Like they work in both lanes. It ain't just one lane. They work both lanes. And then they marketing good. And then they was on the verge of getting certain deals done with the Grizzlies and stuff like that. And they so strong and believe in themselves, they turned it down. They was like, nah, that's a good deal, but it ain't time yet. So that goes to show what they doing. They them guys, they know what they doing. And even if they may not know what they doing, they sure gonna act like it for sure. So much good as they do for their non-profit, right? I'm gonna give you the ways that they can go wrong. And it's not only directed towards them. This is directed towards any non-profit. right? Or anybody who do any form of business or have any form of relationships with two or more people. And in this situation, it's four of them, so it's a quadruple relationship. So this would go apply towards anybody. Like I always say, when I have these conversations, they not only apply to the person, but they can apply to anybody across the board. So I'm gonna tell you what they can go wrong with, right? So the number one way they always go wrong when you have groups like that is egos. Egos is what destroy the team. So I'm gonna tell you why. When they get MSO, money, status, and opportunity. Or when I can say they want to get them some. When they get them some more, when they want to get them some status, opportunity, and money, right? And when they start getting that, that's when certain stuff start happening. One stop showing up to the interviews on time, or they start missing their flight, or so here's another way it always go wrong. Somebody it's just gonna creep in their head where one of them feel like they carrying the load too much. They gonna be like, damn, I always been going to all the interviews. It's your turn. I always been paying for the food. It's your turn. So get into it, your turn, my turn. And then the other person, when you direct it towards them, if they ain't been carrying the load, then now it's a bunch of scoreboard. Y'all play the scoreboard game. Okay, I'm gonna do this so he won't say nothing to me instead of actually making sure it's about the kids. So that's another way egos can go wrong. Or then the other one is somebody put it in somebody else's ear, be like, hey, you can start your own non-profit. The way you built this thing up like this, man, and you got that wisdom like that, you can start your own thing. And then the other person get to sit back and think like, yeah, I think I can just start my own thing too. And now when they come around other guys, they head inflated. They got a little bit ego. That's another way uh, egos can fall apart. Or when it comes to cutting them checks, you agree, like y'all may, if it's for one, y'all agree, let's say 25, but then it's maybe one more will be like, man, bruh, my load should be 30%. This man over here, it's certain stuff he don't even do the heavy lift. Come on, bro, what you doing? I can do that. I still want, bro, I want my 30%. Now y'all found out over a check. You know what I'm saying? Or when y'all trying to expand and get to bigger, once y'all got to certain heights and y'all want to do certain things, right? Y'all start having more ideas because y'all had a big budget. Y'all had $100,000 budget, $200,000, $1 million budget. And now y'all start having ideas, but now ain't nothing getting done because y'all too busy arguing over who idea the best. And then when you shut one idea down, then another one calling somebody out their name, they roast them or they sneak diss them and stuff like that. And then that's what causes another ruckus. And then another one, he goes like one may be burnt out. He may be like, Dad, I've been doing this for 12 years. I feel like we ain't going nowhere. I'm tired, man. I'm burnt out. And you know what? For that, just like Shark Tank, I'm out. See, that's one way. And that's really the main way how everything go down here is your egos, man. That's the biggest one, ego. So I'm gonna give you the second one is, right, when y'all start getting these big enough budgets, right? Y'all get the 100,000, 200,000, the $1 million budget. Y'all don't come to, how can I say it? Y'all don't have a proper way to structure them deals, right? Because even though they donating their money to y'all for charity, y'all still may need to get that stuff still in writing the proper way. Because if you start letting too many sponsors and stuff donate money to y'all, then they could, and I ain't saying they gonna always do that, but then it could be a chance where you need to do this. You need to do that. I want you to do this. I want you to do this if you're gonna keep getting money. Not with my money, you finna do that with them kids. So you're gonna have too many sponsors trying to come in and dictate the program instead of just saying, you know what, I believe in y'all program, let me donate it to y'all. I'm not saying the people who do give y'all the money wrong for trying to dictate the program. They're not, because they give you their money, then they feel they have a right to say so. And then it may not even come from a malicious place when they trying to have a safe run program because they may be passionate about kids too. But the thing is, you can stretch yourself too thin when you got this sponsor, that sponsor, this sponsor, that sponsors, and they all pulling you in four different directions. They all want something done, and you too busy trying to please them, or y'all in this situation, y'all too busy trying to please them, and it's taking away from y'all vision what y'all want, and now y'all not happy. Y'all going to these events and kids telling y'all thank you, and y'all half smiling. You're welcome. It was alright. Or when the kids say it's bad and they boo y'all, they say it was trash or they don't show up. Y'all still feeling a certain type of way. But then the person who cut y'all a check was like, yo, this is a good event, man. We need to think about doing this again. And y'all looking at the person cutting the check, and you just like, man, like, this ain't worth the money. So that's another way y'all go wrong. When y'all have too many sponsorships and y'all don't properly structure those deals, you gonna lose. So that's another way. Make sure you properly structure those deals as far as how you want them. Do you want them to be a silent partner? Or do you want them to be participating in your program? What does that look like? Sometimes maybe participating in your program, they may have a voice, or they may be like, hey, I got connections where we can do this. What does that look like for y'all? So if y'all don't know what they look like, then y'all gonna lose when y'all start asking for donations. And it leads me to my next point. The other reason why y'all can go wrong is not taking the kids' opinion into consideration, right? They kids, and sometimes it ain't. You as a grown person may have the ego and be like, hey, it ain't always about what the kids want. Do what the grown folks tell you to do. Not really in this situation because like you want the kids like you're there for them. You're there to serve them. So you can't serve them with their ego, which that's kind of go back to the previous point, another revolve around another form of ego, right? But what I mean by taking the kids into consideration is bringing them into the planning for the event. That's another reason they can be short and probably because y'all be trying to fix stuff for them, and they ain't even what the kids like. I'm gonna tell you what they did right. They brought the kids in for cold, rapping. They took them out to a nice restaurant that was good because when they like to eat, they like music and they like technology. That's what kids like. So that was a smart move. What may not be a smart move, you be like, hey, let's plan an event. We take them to the library and just sit down and read. It could be smart depending on how you structure it, but not like right off the rip. See, doing some of the boring stuff, it takes time to do that because you have to establish more trust with them where they be like, hey, even the boring stuff, we trust y'all because we know y'all gonna make it fun. Oh yeah, yeah. So sorry y'all, they tell me about the battery low, but I'm still finna get out of this game. So not taking the kids into consideration, right? That's where y'all can go wrong because if y'all the minute that y'all don't take the kids into consideration, that's when they stop showing up to the events on or they have show up, they don't be consistent, and then when they do show up, they not all the way there. They really just trying to get there just for the food. Or they really there just to get out the parents' house. They're not even really there for you. And they're not even really there for home. They just trying to get out these situations, you know what I'm saying? So that's another reason where y'all can go wrong. And then the other reason why y'all can go wrong is y'all breaking the kids and the parents' trust. Right? Really, you really don't have to worry about the parents' trust as much because if the kids like you, the kids can peer pressure they not peer pressure, but they can pressure their parents into liking y'all. Because we see it happen all the time. Like I'm gonna give you a basic example. When the kids see a toy in the store that they like and they ask for it all year long, Mom or Dad, I want this toy. And then when they get it for Christmas, that was another form of pressure, right? So, okay, if you can get to the kids hard, they can influence the parents. So, because sometimes like parents, they had this saying where it ain't about me no more, it's about the kids. So if you can target the kids and build a relationship with them, you ain't really got to worry about the parents' trust as much. But however, the kids can trust you, but the parents cannot like you, and they can still pull their kid from the programs. So they catch you. I'm giving an example how that could happen, right? If you out in town and you good in the nonprofit space, but they see you in another position. Let's say you out in town and you start a fight with one of their cousins or someone. They see you out somewhere else outside the nonprofit and you showing your rear end. They gonna be like, nah, that's not the example I want for my kids. So they gonna pull their kid from their program. That's the way where they can't trust you. And obviously, as I mentioned before, not taking the kids into consideration for y'all planning. That's how y'all can lose the kids' trust too. So that's another reason why y'all lose is y'all gotta watch what y'all doing at all time because not only the kids watching y'all, but the adults watching y'all. So y'all, and I ain't really gotta explain too much how y'all can build trust and stuff like that, cause y'all doing pretty good with that. But if the moment y'all do break that trust, y'all gonna lose. So I just want to put y'all up on that. And I think it's one more. And the other piece to that is before I transition to my last point, a great way you can break the kids' trust is break their confidentiality. Sometimes kids, the reason why they telling you is because they don't want to tell their mom and daddy. So now I understand depending on what it is, like they say they finna murder somebody, they gonna commit suicide, you have to speak up. But there's certain stuff where they feel that they don't want to go tell their parents. So if they wind up coming and talking to you, and then you wind up going to tell the parents, and then they find out that they in some way they gonna find out, and they gonna like, damn, I don't even want to talk to, them, I don't even trust them no more. That's a way you can break trust. So you have to be very strategic on how you move about it. And that leads me to my last point. The last reason y'all can go wrong is y'all getting away from y'all nonprofit. Y'all getting away from y'all bread and butter. And one way y'all can get away from that is like burnout. Y'all may be like, hey, we've been doing this for so long. We ain't really had no success like that as far as big budgets and stuff like that. But the kids like it, but I'm tired. And that's a way where the nonprofit can go down because y'all so tired to the point where y'all don't even think about the kids or them kids. Y'all be like, well, them ain't my kids. Ain't gonna do with me. I got my own mouth to feed. Which yeah, that's true. But sometimes when you in a people serving business, sometimes you may have to go years without getting that check. When you look at some of them activists and stuff like that, they die broke. I ain't saying well, right now, no, it's today's side, we ain't got to worry about that. And they really ain't got to worry about that neither because they got their own motion coming in when they ain't just depending on a nonprofit. The nonprofits, they're solely just to serve kids. So there's really an added bonus because it shows to people that they really there to serve the people and they're not dependent on a nonprofit salary. But it's just my ways of what they did right and how they can go wrong. And it can apply to anybody. So man, women, like I just want y'all to know, just take this information with a grain of salt. Everybody got their own opinions on how they handle about things. I just got my point of view on this. This is my perspective on this conversation. Another conversation with Drip. So I want y'all to do me a favor. Like hit the like button, hit that comment button, hit that subscribe button, and when you're in that comment section, run y'all mouth. And then I want y'all to share this video with as many people as possible. And so, hey, till next time, tap in, lock in, tune in. Yeah, it's Drip. Salute.